Today we're out here doing a range test on our Solar P1 Series 2 and 3.0 scooters. We want to find out just exactly how far these things can go in the real world. Hey guys, it's Steve from Scooter King, and we are out here doing a range test on our Solar P1 2.0 and 3.0 series scooters, as they have identical specs. And we've added a couple of additions to ours. We've got a couple of added bars here on the tailpiece to make it a lot nicer to stand on, especially for long rides. It's got that sweet rubber deck, which is super comfortable when you're out for long periods of time. We've added a couple of other things as well. We got a really nice car headlight up here that is just super bright. We've got some mirrors, and then we've also changed out the grips to make these screw-in grips onto the handlebars so that they're a lot more secure. They don't move around when you're out there, especially making long turns and stuff. And we want to find out just exactly how far this thing can go in the real world without having to switch back between single and dual motor. We're going to keep it a dual motor the whole time. So let's get out on the road and find exactly how far this thing can go. One of the things I just love about the Solar P Series scooters is they just have so much torque for their price point. I mean, it is insane just how powerful these things are, especially on a brand new battery, man. They're just like, woohoo! Oh, shit! These things just pull like a mother. I mean, they really, really pull. It just amazes me, because you would think, you know, for the price point of these scooters, you know, they would, you know, they'd cut some features off here and there and stuff, but really what ends up happening is the motors and everything themselves are not where they cut any of the corners financially. You know, they'll dial back some of the features in terms of like the accessories and stuff, but man, they do not cut any corners when it comes to stuff like just sheer torque, because this thing is just an absolute brute monster when it comes to just off the line torque. So we'll start at about nothing here, and let's see what she's got. Oh shit! Woo! And just like that, 37 miles an hour, 40, 42, 43, 44. Shit. I mean, this thing just flat out rips. So the bulk of this range test today, I'm gonna have mostly in second and third gear. So I don't ever really ride in first gear, but I do most of my riding, you know, right around second and sometimes third gear, especially going up hills. Because third gear going up hills, man, this thing is just a monster. So this will be a good overall test to see. So we'll drop it back down, second gear. Pull in here real quick, see if we can do this without getting this guy's running over us. We'll take a little detour and hit up this little off-road trail here. This is actually pretty sweet little back trails that go into these housing tracks. And this thing tracks even on loose sand and gravel like this. You know, the dual motor really just makes this an absolute joy to ride under these conditions for sure. And I'm not really going to be using it in single motor, hardly at all. I mean, you can get a lot more mileage out of it, you know, if you really drop it down. Although, you know, the guys over at Rider Guide proved this on several of their tests, and they found that, you know, single or dual motor doesn't really change the mileage profile of the scooter. It's just that when you're in single motor, you're going slower. So it's really the speed that's determining how quickly you're running out of range. So I just leave it in dual motor all the time. They got all these rock chucks on the side of the road here, and they're like really fat squirrels, and they've all come out to start munching on the fresh cut grass out here. Really nice day to be on the river too. Beautiful. Yeah, just gorgeous out. Great little cobblestone trail going along the river here. Thanks for a great ride. And this is a really good example of a small gravel trail. And this just really moves along super smooth, especially now that the suspension has started to loosen up a little bit. It's really smoothed out the ride. When I first got it, it was really stiff, especially the front forks. And Rider's Guide's got a great hack on that by taking one of the washers out. On the front forks, there's one washer on one side, but two on the other, and it spreads them a little too far. So they bind a little bit, but it's a lot smoother once you take that one washer out. And the back of the tail is really starting to loosen up now, so it feels really good even on bumpy trails like this. All right, so the most important part, time to head for some tacos and beer over at Sancho's Tacos. So we've gone about 12.6 miles so far, according to the Relive app, and we're 3 bars roughly. One of my favorite hangs in all of Bend, Oregon, Sancho's Tacos, man. And they got a sweet El Camino out there. I never really noticed that, and I've been here about 100 times. All right, it's getting late, so we're gonna start heading back, and probably 14 miles, somewhere around there. So we've still got about 3 bars left, and we should make it home, so we'll see how far we get. Sweet day to be on a scooter. Sweet ride. I love all these little trails and whoop-de-doos, man. Super fun being on a scooter for this stuff. It's just really beautiful little wooded trails and stuff. These just go for miles and miles. And that's really one of the things that makes Bend, Oregon one of the most beautiful places to ride. Not just a scooter, I mean anything. This is a super, really nice area down here. You can actually do wave surfing, kayaking. You can kayak completely through this whole area here. It's cool, you can start way over there by those 3 smokestacks. That's the old mill district, and then you can do the entire river all the way through under the bridge. And you see he's got it jumping off it there. All right, so we're down to our last 2 bars. And as you can see on our readout on the dashboard here, we're getting pretty close. We're still in dual motor, so when we really jump on this thing, it'll battery sag way down into 1 bar. So it'll be interesting to see. We have one major hill we got to get up. It's still about a couple miles long. So let's hit that and see just how well this is going to perform and see if we can make it all the way back on what we got. All right, and just to make it a bit more challenging, we're still in 2nd gear. We're going to put it in 3rd gear. Dual motor, and we'll see how far we can get up this hill. Wait for traffic here. Because this is a real burn for a scooter because it's so long. So let's see how this does. 2 bars, dual motor, 3rd gear. 35 miles an hour, and it's pulling down into 1 bar. And as you can see, this thing's doing it, man. It's pulling us up this hill. Almost 40 miles an hour. And we're down into 1 bar. That's it, we're shutting off. So we'll let off on the throttle just a little bit. And that puts us back up into 2 bars, 1 bar. So we're really draining it. I mean, we're on purpose. We're seeing just how much we can get out of this last little bit of the battery. And when we let go, we still got 2 bars left. So if we weren't in 3rd gear and we weren't doing single motor, I mean, if we weren't doing dual motor, we could probably extend this, you know, another 5 miles, maybe easily. So let's take a detour here. We'll see if we can run down just a little bit what's left of this battery. So even with the battery sag that we have, still pulling us up these hills pretty well. So we're getting a little beep, and that's our controller telling us that we're getting down to the last part of the battery. Yep, there we go. And you can see it right now. It's blinking, and that's kind of the battery's way of telling us that it's going to start cutting out here pretty soon. So we're down to 24, 23. So we'll back up on the throttle. So we're at a solid 1 bar now. And it's still even got some torque to it left. We're still pulling 22, 23 miles an hour. So I think we probably could have even milked a little bit more out of it if we needed to. But at one battery with the controller blinking, it was telling us that we're really just down to the last parts of it. So we'll stop and check our ULIP trip counter and see what our total mileage is, as well as our average speed. And then we didn't have to walk home. We had a pretty good shot at timing it out.